2025 Nationals. Tips, advice, everything we can think of. We'll do a second video about the individual events and kind of the tips we have for that. But today we got a whole list of topics that we want to go through and just help you get ready.
Been in the sport for quite some time. Been to nationals a number of times. Usually has been staff. I've competed. I've been a judge and a national photographer. If you've never been to nationals, hopefully this will help you.
And even if you have, maybe some other things to think about.
Every time I go to nationals, something new pops up. So like, we just go down the list here.
Yeah.
When to get there, I would suggest early.
Yeah.
Especially, they're going to have early weigh-ins. Was it Friday?
Friday. There are no weigh-ins on Saturday, so you definitely need to be there Friday. If you haven't made your travel plans yet, give yourself plenty of time so you're not worried if you're at the airport and your flight's delayed by an hour or something. You don't want to be thinking you're going to miss weigh-in.
Also, be prepared for a line. There's going to be roughly 600 athletes weighing in.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be from probably early morning till the late afternoon.
I think he said by 9 a.m. and finish up by 4:30 p.m. So I don't know if by 9 a.m. means they could start earlier. I might be reading too much into this, but yeah. So there's all day for everyone to get in, but it's 600 and some people, so it may take a while.
Hopefully they'll have more than one scale.
Yeah.
But who knows?
You may have people having to come back multiple times too, so it may be. Even though it's 600 people, it may be more than 600 weigh-ins.
So if you're on the edge of your weight class, get there early, weigh in. You might be over. That'll give you plenty of time to. I think we actually discuss this later. Give you a little bit of time to maybe cut a little bit more weight if you have to.
Yeah, if you got to put the garbage bag on, or an idea that you had if you're like a sauna person, start looking now. Is there a gym? Is there a sauna in the area if you're going to need to go and try to sweat out another couple of pounds?
You may even have a portable sauna. We purchased it's a
sauna blanket.
Sauna blanket, yeah.
The Hot Pocket.
Yeah, I like it. It's nice.
It's nice.
I don't like cutting weight. That sucks.
No.
But I could see where it would be useful just to bring it into your hotel room, relax.
Yeah.
Crank it up to however high it goes and just sweat out the last few pounds.
Yeah, that'd be something if you were thinking about it to do now. That would give you a chance to get it home, check it out, see if you want it, pack it if you need it.
Yeah. Plus, if you get in there early, you weigh in early, then you got the rest of the day to go ahead and just gorge yourself with a bunch of carbs and be like 2 weight classes heavier than you usually would be. So.
If you haven't gotten your hotel yet, he did arrange for some, some groups of rooms. And the first hotel, I believe, is already sold out. So there are 2 more hotels. If you go on the entry and click on the FAQ section, you'll be able to find the links for those if you still need to get your hotel. There's a lot right in that area, though, so you shouldn't really have too much problem finding a hotel if you haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
Next item we wanted to hit was just don't let the travel get to you. First of all, just remember, most people are traveling unless they live locally in the Charlotte area. Everybody else is having to fly in, drive in. So don't get too much in your head about, jet lag and doing whatever. But also plan ahead. If there are things that you need to sleep, bring them.
Oh yeah.
If you have a box fan at home, your hotel probably doesn't have one. Just bring it with you.
Bring a pillow.
Yeah, bring a pillow if you have a pillow that you need. If you take melatonin. Whatever, if you need your lavender spritz for your pillowcase, whatever you need, just bring it. You're going to be thrown off being in a hotel, so cut down on the amount of distractions and problems.
Yeah, I don't know, we've had some people in the past to go to nationals and, I don't know, they forget certain things. It just throws them completely off. Don't change anything at the last minute. Please don't, because you're just going to ask for trouble.
That's really the theme. The overarching theme for a lot of these tips is comp day in general, but especially nationals, not the day to try something new.
I've never done it before, but I had White Castle for breakfast before the contest.
This isn't the time to find out if you like White Castle or, hollandaise sauce and have a big breakfast, see if the McGriddles are all that people say they are. It's try those after the comp. We're touching on the food a little bit. First, plan ahead. So you can plan ahead for what your meals are going to be, but also what are you going to eat on comp day? Now, he said in the most recent athlete email, I believe what he's saying is that the athletes you can bring coolers, you can bring food, you can bring drinks. Spectators cannot. So that's important to note. But plan ahead so you know what you're going to eat. So you're not running around trying to send somebody out for chicken fingers in the middle of the day and, waiting around forever or something.
And chances are, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Chances are you probably won't have time to eat much, because the way they set up nationals now is like it's basically a contest within a contest. So your lane is a contest, and probably once they get done with the first event, they'll go right into the second event. So there's probably not much downtime, I would say.
Yeah, so don't plan on you're going to send your spouse or your mom or whoever out to get you a sandwich and you're going to sit down and have a 5-course meal.
Rotisserie chicken.
Yeah, sit down with a rotisserie chicken. Yeah, pack a sandwich, pack whatever you normally eat at a competition if it's protein bars.
Yeah.
Don't try new protein bars this weekend. Get stuff that you're used to. Make sure that you're staying hydrated.
Yeah, especially that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, plan out what you're going to have for breakfast before you come in. We were talking maybe even you want to eat at that same place on Friday, just so you know that, okay, I got the Cracker Barrel breakfast Friday, my stomach was okay, I'll get the same thing again Saturday. And then, again, you're cutting out on any other possibilities for getting an upset stomach.
Yeah. And don't do what I did at my nationals that I competed in. I didn't eat at all.
Yeah, that's
and it was a 12-hour plus day. So by the end of the last event, I'm shaky.
Yeah, that's another good reason to plan ahead.
Yeah, that was my fault. Don't do
my
that.
first contest, I had to cut weight, and so I had not eaten anything, and I brought some little chocolate donuts, the Breakfast of Champions. That was terrible. I was already sick to my stomach from not eating. The donuts didn't do anything good for me. Yeah, you got time. Take some time to figure out what's going to be a good meal. Sit well in the tummy. Get you some energy for the day.
Yeah. The one thing that worked for me, though, is mixing almonds and dried pineapple. It's just kind of a nice mix of long energy and quick energy. Plus, I like the taste, too.
Yeah. I know a lot of people do like peanut butter and jelly. I like peanut butter and syrup. That's what I grew up on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an easy sandwich that doesn't need a refrigerator.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah.
It's going to be humid.
You're going to be inside. I'm sure it's climate controlled, but it's also going to be the end of June in North Carolina. Lots of people moving around. The odds are that it's probably not going to be the same as your 68-degree gym that you're training in. So be prepared for that. You may even want to try training outside, just kind of doing some things to get yourself ready, so if it turns out that you get there and it's 85 degrees, it's not a huge shock for you.
Yeah, if you're used to the air conditioning, it may be air conditioned. I don't know.
It might be fine. It might be like a refrigerator, and we'll all be freezing all day.
We were looking at the photos of the center last night, and it looks like a very nice place.
Yeah.
With that being said, though, that doesn't mean it's going to be air conditioned or air conditioned well.
Right.
Just so you know.
Yeah, just to plan ahead.
Oh, yeah. Location of the restrooms.
Yeah.
That's a priority. Know where they are, because you never know.
Never know, and like you said, you may not have a lot of time. So if you only have a few minutes between events, you don't want to be spending all of that time.
You get your name called, you're on the toilet.
Yeah, that'd be bad. You don't want that.
Coolers.
Yeah, I said coolers. Also in that athlete email, he said bring chairs. They have some chairs, but just bring whatever you need to be comfortable. Bring your chair.
Bark a lounger.
Yeah. Be prepared for anything and everything. And I think if you go in with that mindset, it's going to be easier if things change. I mean, how many changes have you seen happen to at nationals?
It's not as bad now, but in the early days, every time you go to nationals, whatever they listed on the entry, increase the weight. That was just a given. If they listed a certain weight for an event, just add 20 pounds to it, because it was usually heavier. I did 2003. The events, every single one of them increased in weight the day of the contest.
They are saying each lane is going to kind of run like its own contest, and so you're probably going to just go back to back on things. Awards will be right after, but be prepared that it might be super fast, and be prepared that it could be really slow. things break,
Yeah.
problems happen.
It might be a sprint or a marathon.
Yeah.
You just don't know until you get there.
You know, we were talking, you know, are they going to have all the athletes doing the sandbag toss at the same time? If that happens, then you might be going, you know, event, and then all of a sudden you're waiting for 6 other lanes to finish before you can do the last one. So kind of have it in your head. How are you going to handle this if you have 15, 20 minutes between turns? And how are you going to handle it if you have hours between turns? What are you going to do with your time? How are you not going to just completely freak out?
Yeah. Bring a Rubik's Cube or something.
Yeah.
Now, John, the promoter, he's a good guy. I've known him for a number of years. He knows what he's doing. So I'm confident that things will run pretty smooth, you know. So don't disappoint me, John.
Yeah.
A warm-up area.
Oh,
that's a good one. So personal experience, never had a warm-up area. If you were lucky to get your hands on the implement just to get the feel for it before the event, that was pretty good. Usually what would happen, you'd be in the athlete area, they'd call your name, boom, you have to do the event. So you're going from like 0 miles an hour to 100 miles an hour in a very short time. So if you're used to having multiple warm-up sets, you're not going to get it. I can almost guarantee you're not going to get it. So bring something in your bag, like say some bands, whatever you do to warm up. You probably won't be able to do it at the contest. I'm guessing. The equipment's just not there. You know, you might actually be able to mess with it a little bit, but it's not going to be anywhere near what you're prepared for, like in the gym.
Yeah, we're not exactly sure how everything's going to be set up. Where's the athlete area, that kind of thing. One of the things we had discussed with Spencer the other day is they're having a professional photographer there, and he's talking about maybe getting one of the packages through them. I don't know if we're going to be able to get any photos or videos of him because I don't know where we're going to be set up. So we're like, hey, that's probably a good idea. I know with the coaches' passes, we can get in the athlete area. Can we see the event from the athlete area? I don't know. Can we go to the spectator area? Are there stands? We don't really know the answer to that. So hopefully we'll be able to still see, and we don't have to just like send Spencer out and be like, so how'd it go?
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Have at it. Push him out there.
Yeah. You know, you were checking out the event center. It looks like there's a main room with like stands and everything in it. I'm assuming that's where we'll be.
I hope so.
There's also some slightly smaller rooms that look like there aren't any stands or anything. So I'm not entirely sure where spectators are going to be, and I don't know where like coaches are going to be. So that is something to take into consideration. If you're wanting some photos and stuff, maybe go ahead and pay for the package just to make sure your coach is stuck in another room somewhere. Then you know.
It's organized chaos.
Yeah.
That's what Nationals is. It's
Nationals
organized chaos.
In a nutshell.
It's basically multiple contests within a contest, and you should know your spot. You know, you should know who's in front of you and who's in back of you.
He did say all the lanes will be announced a little bit closer to time.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe there's an app that you'll have to download, and that's how they're going to communicate with everybody. So keep on top of that. Make sure you know so you're not just wandering off somewhere when it's time for you to come out and do your turn.
So they're going to mail them afterwards?
Yeah. So the awards this year, I think in the past they've been doing like the WrestleMania style belts and stuff. I don't know if that's what they've been doing every year, but this year he's getting...
For a while, for a number of years, actually, they've been doing the belts. Kind of cool.
He is getting championship rings this year. If you're not on the Facebook event, go look that up, but they look cool.
Yeah.
And it did say that they'll get all your information and it'll be personalized and they'll mail it to you later.
Yeah.
So
that's a nice touch. I like that.
Yeah. They look really cool.
Oh, the banquet. So in years past, we used to have a banquet after the contest. I don't think we have that anymore.
No, I think the banquet's gone.
But we can still have dinner.
Yeah. If you know us or you want to know us,
not everybody.
Yeah, not everybody, but let's get together and
you can contact us and say, hey, if you're interested, let's have dinner afterwards.
Yeah, let's all go and get dinner, and if not, if you got other people you're training with, go out to dinner afterwards. You're out of town, go find a cool restaurant, gorge yourself, eat a big meal, and then go back to your hotel and go to bed.
Yeah, you already made weight, and you basically worked out for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Eat something.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, the equipment for sale afterwards.
Oh, yeah. If you like any of the equipment, again, just to let you know, he is selling the equipment afterwards.
Yeah.
I think you can find it in the Facebook event or in the FAQ on the entry, logs and yokes and all of that stuff.
I
You
guess
do have to take it with you that day, so don't be. If you flew from cross country, you probably aren't going to get a yoke unless you're going to try to find somebody to send it to you.
Carry on.
Yeah.
Shirts. So the shirts are black.
Yep.
We were guessing that they're going to be white.
Yeah.
We were wrong.
Yeah,
They're
so
black,
they'll be black.
So that's cool.
Coaches' shirts are red, so plan accordingly with your outfits.
Yep.
I don't look that good in red, so I'm a little bit disappointed, but you know, you can't make everybody happy. I mean, it is what it is. I'm sure they'll be nice anyway.
Parking.
Yeah, remember that parking, it is $8. Yep. And I believe the parking and the concessions are card only, no cash. Yeah. Make sure that your spectators have, you know, credit card if they need to eat. Same with the parking. And then the admission, if you haven't paid ahead for spectators, is going to be $20 cash or $25 with a card. So just plan ahead so it's not all of a sudden you're scrambling around at the last minute when you get there. We'll do another video and we'll kind of go point by point with each event. Just try to talk about some tips. And
some things you might come across.
Yeah. If we missed anything, you got any other questions, let us know, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye-bye.